The signal arrived without warning, a weak pulse forcing its way through the endless static of deep space. It lasted only a moment, barely noticeable, like a whisper brushing the edge of hearing. A small red indicator blinked once on the far console inside the Black Star's communications bay. Ensign Darius Holt narrowed his eyes at the screen, unsure if he had truly seen it. The relay system frequently produced false readings, ghost echoes from drifting debris or ancient satellites wandering through forgotten sectors. Holt rubbed the fatigue from his face and leaned closer to the console. Another glitch, he muttered. Still, he pulled up the last 30 seconds of recorded data. Another pulse appeared. This one lasted longer. 3 quick bursts. Then silence. Holt froze. The frequency was sealed, and encrypted. Alien encryption. He hesitated. This wasn't normal protocol. The Black Star served as a remote listening station, a lonely outpost positioned deep in a quiet corner of the galaxy. Nothing ever happened here. Their job was to monitor shipping lanes, track pirate signals, and record distant stellar activity. Intercepting alien transmissions was not part of the daily routine. Holt exhaled slowly and tapped the internal comm. "Captain Nolan, we might have something." A pause followed before the captain's calm voice answered. "On my way." Holt glanced around the room. No one else had noticed the signal. They rarely did, routine dulled awareness out here. For almost 3 years the station had orbited the empty border of the Karala expanse. No colonies. No fleets. Only silence. Then the door slid open and Captain Nolan stepped inside. "What are we looking at?" he asked. Holt pointed toward the waveform glowing on the main display. "Encrypted signal, sir. Alien origin. The relay barely managed to capture it, but it's definitely real." Captain Nolan leaned closer, studying the fluctuating data scrolling across the console. The transmission arrived in broken fragments, distorted by interference and background radiation. "Run it through the decoders," Nolan ordered. Holt nodded and activated the station's translation software. Distorted sounds filled the communications bay, fragmented alien voices buried beneath heavy static. The system struggled to piece together the message. The Black Star's software was never designed for this type of decryption. Nolan folded his arms. "Where's it coming from?" "Rough estimate puts it near Sector 117, Holt replied. "But there are no registered fleets there. Closest system is Cross Minor, 2 sectors away." "Deep space," Nolan murmured. A sudden burst of clearer audio cut through the noise. Holt quickly adjusted the filters. A voice emerged. The alien language was rough and unfamiliar, but the translation program rapidly adapted. "Under attack, civilians evacuating, this is Commander Alra of the Vorer Fleet, requesting immediate assistance, coordinates transmitting." Explosions crackled faintly behind the voice. Nolan's eyes narrowed. Holt swallowed. "Sir, is that real?" The captain didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stared at the coordinates appearing on the screen. "Trace that location," Nolan said quietly. "I want exact distance." Holt's fingers flew across the interface. Behind them, the massive observation window revealed nothing but empty stars. Sector 117 was supposed to be completely deserted. But every 90 seconds the same desperate signal returned. Still calling for help. Still waiting for someone to answer. Silence filled the communications bay as the distress call repeated once again. "Sector scans show nothing," Holt said after another sweep. "No fleets. No allied signals. If they're expecting reinforcements, none are coming." Captain Nolan stared at the empty star map. The pulse of the distress signal blinked slowly, like a distant heartbeat. He already knew the truth. By the time command received the report, the battle would likely be over. Holt hesitated before speaking again. "Permission to speak freely, sir." Nolan gave him a sideways glance. "Go ahead." "If that were us out there," Holt said carefully, "we wouldn't wait for authorization." Nolan's eyes narrowed slightly. "You think I'm hesitating?" "I think," Holt replied quietly, "that Commander Alra sounded like he's running out of time." The captain turned back toward the observation window, staring into the endless darkness beyond the glass. Out here at the edge of explored space, decisions carried weight. Sometimes there was no time to wait for orders. Another pulse echoed through the console. The same desperate message. The same coordinates. Finally Nolan exhaled. "Prepare the Artemis and the Solace," he said. Holt straightened immediately. 2 patrol ships. Full stealth protocols. Launch within the hour. "Yes, sir." Across the station, alarms quietly activated as crews rushed to the hangar bays. Nolan opened a secure channel and transmitted a message toward command. But he had already made his decision. He leaned toward the console and spoke into the comm. "Commander Aura, this is Captain Nolan of the Black Star." A brief pause followed. "Hold your position." Then he added the words that changed everything. "The humans are coming."